Getting smart is so easy, actually. You just need to read 100 books a month, speak 12 languages fluently, meditate on a Himalayan peak, and obviously delete all your social media, except LinkedIn, because that's where smart people pretend they're constantly getting job offers. That's the kind of advice you hear from someone who clearly has no bills to pay, no existential crisis, and definitely no family group chat sending minion memes. The promise? Follow this magical step-by-step, and you'll become a mix of Einstein and the Dalai Lama, only more productive and with a color-coded Notion workspace. The problem? That's corporate fan fiction with a motivational voiceover. But what if I told you becoming smarter has nothing to do with any of that? That maybe, just maybe, intelligence isn't hiding behind a 5 a.m. routine or a pink planner that says, "Girl boss"? Getting smart is so easy, actually, that it almost feels suspicious. Today, we're tearing apart the best-selling fiction of self-help books and productivity reels. We're unpacking the most popular beliefs about how to become smart and exposing the possibility that the human brain doesn't need mystic rituals. Just something way simpler and maybe more painful. Thinking, like actually thinking for yourself. I know, outrageous. Let's start with one of the biggest myths of modern humanity, the idea that intelligence means repeating fancy quotes. You know those people who love dropping Nietzsche references but haven't made it past page 3? Or the guy who always says, "The mind that opens to a new idea never returns to its original size," and you know he just watched a 5-minute YouTube video called "Philosophy for Hustlers"? Quoting smart people doesn't make you smart. At best, it turns you into a walking Pinterest board. And honestly, even the algorithm is bored at this point. The truth is, being smart today is more about looking smart than actually being smart. It's intellectual cosplay. You memorize a few clever lines, pretend to understand economics because of one podcast, and suddenly, bam, you're a certified genius on Instagram. But real thinking, asking questions, changing your mind, too risky. That takes effort, patience, and worst of all, accepting that maybe, just maybe, you're a flawed human like the rest of us. Which brings us to our next point, the cult of reading. Brace yourself, reading books doesn't make you smart. There, I said it. You can breathe now. Look, I love books. But stacking covers on your IG story and underlining pretty quotes isn't what transforms someone into a genius. That's like wearing a lab coat and thinking you're a doctor. How many people have read Animal Farm and then said, "I love stories about animals"? Exactly. Aesthetic wins over substance 9 times out of 10. And on the 10th, someone still adds a quote about grinding harder. Reading only works when you digest what you're reading, when you reflect, when you stop and think, wait, do I actually agree with this, or did I just like how it sounded for my Twitter bio? The difference between reading to understand and reading to perform is the same as cooking a meal versus just posting food pics. One feeds your brain, the other feeds your ego. Getting smart is so easy, actually, just not in the way Instagram wants you to believe. And don't even get me started on those ancient wisdom books selling magic formulas to become a genius by 30. Spoiler. If you need a book titled "Think Like Elon Musk" to think like Elon Musk, you've already missed the point. The only thinking involved there was, what book title sells to insecure people who want to feel superior in meetings? Getting smart is so easy, actually, especially for people who want maximum credit with minimum effort and peak vanity. Now let's get into the real reason most people don't get smarter. Thinking hurts. That's it. That's the tweet. Thinking is uncomfortable. It's messy. It challenges you. Real thinking is like squatting at the gym. No one likes it. Everyone pretends they do. The systems we live in are built to reward people who follow, not question. School trains you to repeat. Exams teach you to get it right. Work rewards obedience. Where in this process do you actually learn how to think? Quick answer, you don't. We spend so much time trying to fit into prepackaged smart molds that we forget the core of it all, critical thinking. Worse, we link intelligence to arrogance. Like being smart means never being wrong. But a truly smart person knows they're often wrong and doesn't have a meltdown about it. Getting smart is so easy, actually. If you're okay with looking dumb now and then. And honestly, in today's hot take per minute world, that's almost a superpower. True intelligence also comes with a healthy dose of self-deprecation. Because if you've never looked back and thought, wow, I was incredibly dumb for believing that, then you probably still believe it. And hey, that's fine. That's growth. Admitting you didn't know something is the first sign you're starting to understand. Getting smart is so easy, actually, if you drop the obsession with winning fake arguments in the shower. And here's the twist. Intelligence has way more to do with habits than heroic feats. It's not about enrolling in a new course every month. It's about observing more, listening better, changing your mind more often. It's about being okay with not having an opinion on every trending topic, which, let's be real, is a borderline act of rebellion on the internet. While the internet shouts with hot takes, real intelligence knows when to shut up. While the feed throws formulas at you, critical thinking asks, does this even apply to me? Intelligence is knowing not everything viral is valuable, and sometimes being the only one laughing at a joke because no one else got it. And that's okay. But let's be honest, no one wants to hear that getting smarter takes effort, patience, and the humility to say, yeah, I was totally wrong. That doesn't go viral, that doesn't come with a lo-fi beat and a text overlay. It's easier to follow that one influencer who swears his IQ went up 40 points just because he showers cold and sleeps 3 hours a night. Good luck with that. Just don't freeze your brain. So, in the end, getting smart is so easy, actually. If you ignore everything they told you about how it's supposed to work. Want a real shortcut? Stop trying to look smart. Start being curious. Question everything, especially this video. Read less inspirational quotes and more actual critiques. Laugh at your own ignorance. And most importantly, run far away from anyone who says they've got all the answers, especially if they're trying to sell you a course. If you've watched this far, congrats. You've gained approximately 0.00003% more brain power. Doesn't sound like much, but in today's world, that already puts you ahead of the curve. Getting smart is so easy, actually, as long as you don't get tricked by people selling shortcuts to wisdom. Like this, if you're ready to master your mind, subscribe and ring the bell for the next fight I'm picking, and see that video flashing right now? That's me destroying sleep scams. Click it because resting in peace is so easy, actually. You'll be a double threat by bedtime.